pollution problems at the plant, at the Temple Inland Fiberboard plant. The Department of Environmental Protection reported to our newspaper exchange partner, the Clarion News, that there were emissions problems at the plant in early January. Now, according to the DEP, the plan was working well on January 3rd. But in a report filed with the DEP by the Temple Inland Fiberboard plant, there was a problem with the plant's filtering system on January 4th. And you're seeing some foul video of the plant. And the problem that happened on January 4th caused some emissions to be diverted from the plant. Now, the company that owns the plant, Temple Inland, has released a statement saying that Clarion is committed to making sure the RTO at the plant is installed and functioning at peak efficiency. So they're still working on, they insist that everything is safe at the plant, although some people who live in the area have said that they did smell some things and could tell that there were some emissions at the plant in early January. And speaking with some of those people from the plant today, they do say that they are working to resolve the problem, and the DEP has given them an extension on making everything back up grade where it's supposed to be. Reporting live, I'm Mark Despotakis. Back to you, Cynthia and Carrie.
A $19.7 billion budget is what Pennsylvania Governor Tom Ridge is proposing. The proposed budget includes a slashing of taxes by nearly $640 million. Here's a breakdown of the governor's proposed budget. A 10-year phase-out of the state capital stock and franchise tax, along with the elimination of the $200 minimum tax on small businesses. The use of the tobacco money for uncompensated care for uninsured Pennsylvanians. Also, Pennsylvania will be teaming up with Microsoft to create a PA PowerPoint. PA PowerPoint is the nation's first statewide internet portal which aids businesses wishing to go online.
Education is on the focus of the governor's proposed budget. A 3% increase for public school funding is expected in Clarion County. Nearly $1.3 million will be allocated. How will the local area school districts benefit? TV5's Mike Lockett spoke with the school superintendents to find out.
Governor Ridge's new state budget proposal will include a 3% increase in basic education funding, which would amount to $110.3 million. The new proposal includes $2.5 million for a Standard & Poor's, a school evaluation system. $20 million will go to a new version of the Academic Recovery Act, which would target low-performance schools. The proposal includes a special education formula. All state districts would receive a minimum increase of 2%, while poorer schools would receive up to 8% of the money. TV5 spoke to Clarion Limestone Superintendent Richard Slack and Barry Knorr of the Keystone School District. Mr. Knorr noted the importance of funding proposals in rural school districts with high poverty and no substantial funding from a local tax base. Both Knorr and Slack noted that every time money is received for one program, it is taken out of another. Such proposals tend to rob Peter to pay Paul. This has been Mike Lockett reporting from Clarion for TV5.
Charges of criminal contempt and endangering the welfare of a child have been dropped against a Clarion man. 44-year-old Daniel P. Dean Sr. is accused of refusing to return his children over to deputies as part of a protection of abuse order. Officials say that Dean will plead guilty to charges of resisting arrest and disorderly conduct.
A Clarion man has waived his right to a preliminary hearing following accusations of throwing an object at a moving vehicle and injuring the driver. 20-year-old Joshua Berlin is charged with propulsion of missiles and simple assault. The incident occurred back in June 8th along Route 322. The woman suffered a cut on her neck following the incident. An update on the story we first brought you yesterday. 4 of 11 members of the Clarion County Facilities Planning Commission have resigned. The third meeting of the committee occurred this morning in the existing Children and Youth Services building. Commissioner Donna Hartle told TV5 News that the commissioners are now searching for a new chairman of the Planning Commission. She also said that she would like to see the committee continue. As more details become available, we will bring them to you.
The cause of death has been revealed in the case of an Oil City woman. 46-year-old Sharon Surrett died of blunt force trauma to the head. Surrett was pronounced dead at UPMC Presbyterian Hospital in Pittsburgh following a January 22nd car accident in Oil City. The investigation is continuing this evening into the cause of a chemical tank fire which occurred at the Whitco Chemical Company in Butler County. The fire burned a holding tank containing a petroleum byproduct. One employee suffered minor injuries in the fire.
Coming up after the break, a Clarion University student is pursuing a special assignment. Get the details coming up.
Plus, is fish all that it is cracked up to be? Find out coming up in Health Beat. All this and more as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home.
Why is it that students have such a problem here with?
Tune into Feedback with Mark Despotakis every Tuesday and Wednesday night beginning at 7:30 p.m.
We're totally out of time. No time to talk to you. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is TV5 News at 8, live with Carrie LaPoo, Cynthia Walker, Brian Cook with sports, and Courtney Maines with your TV5 Weather Center forecast. Now from the news team bringing coverage closer to home, this is TV5 News.
Welcome back to TV5 News Today. And now an update on the continuing bridge work of Paint Township. We have the reporter Kate Skinner will be reporting.
Okay, well, the package is slightly delayed right now, so we will move on. Now taking a look at Clarion University news, domestic violence will be the theme for a visual art project currently on display on the Clarion campus. The display will demonstrate women's survival stories in a way which celebrates the survivor's strength. Project coordinator Angela Bennick spoke with TV5 News to explain why the project is so important.
I think a project like this is important because we need to show society, we need to show the world the reality of domestic violence. We need to not only show people that survivors of domestic violence have a lot of strength that needs to be celebrated, but we also need people to feel compassion for these survivors. We need people to recognize that this is a very ugly problem that hurts a lot of people, particularly.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Okay, and now we'll have some more news on the bridge work which is continuing in Paint Township. Kate Skinner reports.
Way to build bridges over Toby Creek, which was lost in 1996 due to the flash flood disaster. Not going through with the construction of the bridge in Paint Township would possibly cost more than actually moving ahead with the project. This development to rebuild the bridge to carry Brenneman Road to Toby Creek, which lies on the border between Paint and Highland Townships, is the controversy which they face. The two-lane bridge is expected to cost $854,000. Construction is still a long way off, but engineering of the project has already begun. Highland Township Supervisor Wes Somerville wasn't fond of the idea of replacing the bridge at first. However, their township has already too much money involved in the project to cancel it. Paint Township Supervisor Ed Bouch agrees with Highland Township. He thinks it would be unwise if they spend $100,000 and don't take advantage of the bridge. In conclusion, the two townships agreed to go forth with the project. In Paint Township, Kate Skinner, TV5 News.
Also in Clarion University news, the Vocal Chamber concert, originally scheduled for February 20th, has been canceled. The concert has been rescheduled for fall of 2000. That's a look at news from Clarion University.
Clarion Borough Police are investigating a fight between residents of Fern Street and members of a Clarion University fraternity. Police tell our newspaper exchange, the Clarion News, that a party was being held at the residence on Fern Street when a member of the fraternity attending the party was asked to leave. He said he would return later with some of his brothers. The suspect is charged with riot, burglary, criminal trespass, criminal mischief, and aggravated assault. You can read more about this story and more in tomorrow's edition of the Clarion News. In state news, State Representative Frank Gigliotti says he will not seek reflection as he faces federal criminal charges. The Democrat from Allegheny County joins two Republican state representatives, Tracy Seifert and Thomas Druce, who have not decided to run for the new term, as their court dates are near. Gigliotti is charged with fraud and influence peddling.
Pennsylvania's First Lady Michelle Ridge is spending this evening in a Harrisburg hospital following an accident last night. Mrs. Ridge was shopping at a suburban Harrisburg mall when she slipped on a patch of ice. She broke her ankle in 3 places, but doctors say that Mrs. Ridge will be able to return home tomorrow. Cambria County authorities have identified the woman who was killed in a house fire just outside of Johnstown. 49-year-old Shirley Berkey died Monday night after calling 911. An autopsy yesterday showed that Berkey had a blood alcohol level of 0.24. Investigators say that Berkey attempted to put the fire out herself. When firefighters arrived, they pulled her out of the house but were unable to revive her.
A settlement has been reached with the 4 travel companies accused of making bogus pitches to thousands of unsuspecting customers for free vacations to Florida. Disappointed customers could be receiving a refund as soon as Friday. The suit came to light when 17 state attorney generals, including Pennsylvania's, sued their companies. A Pittsburgh man is facing charges that he illegally withdrew money from a church bank account. 41-year-old Theodore Pugh was charged last week with 21 counts of forgery and 1 count of theft. Prosecutors say that he wrote the checks in his name. Pugh waived his right to a preliminary hearing.
Coming up after the break, today was unseasonably warm. Will it continue? Courtney Maines will be here with your TV5 Weather Center forecast. Plus, do you have enough fish in your diet? Health Beat follows the break in this look at today's stock report.
Standing out from the crowd is easy when you stop in at Fashion Bug, located in a Clarion mall.
Welcome back to TV5 News. In national news today, Boeing engineers and technical workers have walked off the job. Union members have been working without a contract since December. An offer from the company was voted down last week. The strike comes after 2 days of intense talks with a federal mediator. Better pay and benefits are the sticking points. The final stop is Delaware for Republican presidential candidate Steve Forbes. The Associated Press is reporting that Forbes is pulling out of the race following his 3rd place finish in the Delaware GOP primary yesterday. Advisors say that the announcement will probably come as early as tomorrow. Forbes spent nearly 4 years and millions of personal dollars in the effort.
A Florida teenager has pled guilty to sending an email threatening Columbine High School in Colorado. 18-year-old Michael Campbell threatened to finish what 2 gunmen began last April. Campbell's lawyer said that he suffered from internet intoxication. Internet intoxication is defined as not being able to distinguish between real and cyber worlds. Campbell could get 5 years in prison when he is sentenced on April 28th. In tonight's Health Beat, little fish can have big benefits when it comes to fighting disease. Scientists are finding that omega-3, a fatty acid found in fish, is useful in reducing the risk of heart disease, arthritis, stroke, and breast cancer. Health experts are also finding that omega-3 may help prevent migraines, lower blood pressure, and reduce the effects of kidney disease and asthma. The latest research has found that the acid may also be beneficial in the treatment of depression. Experts say eating a can of sardines will help increase the amount of fatty acid in the body.
Teaching children the basic safety lessons may help keep them safer in school and throughout the year. The National Fire Protection Association's Risk Watch program says that children should stay in their seats when riding the school bus and hold on to the handrails when getting on and off. When waiting for the school bus, stay 10 feet away from the curb, and children should wear a helmet every time they ride a bicycle. The experts also say that your child should walk his or her bike through a crosswalk, not ride it. For more information, call 1-800-SAFE-HOME.
Temperatures today seem to have rebounded from earlier in the week. Will it last? Courtney Maines is here with your TV5 Weather Watch forecast.
Well, having technical problems, that's coming up after a break in sports. The only undefeated team in men's college basketball suffered a devastating loss. The details will be next.
And Corey Pittman is in with a calendar of events. Stay with us as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home.
other stations are showing their boring programming, only one station is bringing news coverage closer to home.
Now a story you'll hear first on 5.
Every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m., join the area's news leader, TV5 News. Tune in for the latest in local, regional, state, and national news. Plus, with our newspaper exchange partner, the Clarion News, teaming up to bring news coverage closer to home every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m.
Well, that didn't last long. This guy is really funny. Me? These are my new friends.
Are you into it? Call 4-H or check out our website at areyouintoit.com.
And now TV5 weather with Courtney Maines.
A beautiful day in Clarion once again, with sunny skies and highs in the mid-40s. It definitely felt like springtime outside. Taking a look at the satellite map, we can see that much of the east coast is still clear today, but with clouds moving in from the west and down from the north, we can see that during this weekend and late this week and early into the weekend, we're going to have some rain and snow showers. Moving on to the fronts map, we can see that there's a front coming down from Canada, sweeping down through much of the Midwest, down up into Erie, missing most of Pennsylvania, but just catching the tip of Erie. Moving on to the high temperatures of the day, we can see that temperatures are pretty much rising throughout most of the country. The north is rising with temperatures between the 30s and 40s, down to the Midwest with temperatures in the 40s and 50s, and down in Texas it's up into the 70s today. And looking at the precipitation map, we can see that the corners of Utah, the corners of Washington, Idaho, Oregon are all having rain and snow showers mixed, but Pennsylvania is still staying pretty clear for the day. On to the 5-day forecast. We can see Thursday there's going to be mostly cloudy skies, high of 44, low of 29. Friday we're going to have some showers with the highs of 44, lows of 24. Saturday we're going to have a combination of snow and rain showers with a high of 37, low of 17. Sunday is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 35 and a low of 19. And Monday is going to be partly rainy and snowy with a high of 41 and a low of 23. That's all for the weather. Back to you, Cynthia and Carrie.
Thanks, Courtney. It's been a busy day in the world of sports, and Brian Cook is here to tell us what's happening. Brian?
Thanks, Carrie. Doctors just revealed the reason as to why Derek Thomas died in surgery yesterday. The All-Pro linebacker and future Hall of Famer passed away due to a blood clot that was wedged between his heart and his lungs. Dennis Rodman, also known as the Worm, has signed with the Dallas Mavericks and could see some action tonight against the Sonics. Rodman feels that he belongs in the game of basketball and has made it to practice every day on time. Former Charlotte Hornets Bobby Field will be honored tonight against the Cavs. His number 13 will be retired to commemorate his life and the legacy of this extraordinary individual. He was killed last month in an automobile accident. Tiger Woods is still on the top and rising. This golf legend is number 1 in this week's World Golf Rankings. In second place, David Duval. Colin Montgomery is in third, and coming in at number 4 is Davis Love. Number 2 All-American wrestler Mark Angle is injured. Could this be the end of his career? Amy Ujadowski reports.
Mark Angle is in a bit of trouble these days. Number 2 in his weight class and holding a record of 23-2. Angle is no stranger to success, but now with a knee injury, that success may be put on pause.
Well, Mark will be out of the lineup this week, and he's just won't be practicing this week, but he'll be conditioning and rehabbing his knee. So we'll take it week by week, and we have about 4 more weeks to the national qualifying tournament. So hopefully he'll be back to 100% by that time.
Hopefully this setback will not be a major issue in Mark's future career. Reporting for TV5 News, I am Amy Jadowski.
Thanks, Brian. And now Corey Pittman joins us with this week's community calendar in tonight's installment of Entertainment Beat.
Good evening and welcome to the Entertainment Beat Community Calendar. On Thursday, February 10th, the University Activities Board will host Ultimate Imaging in the Gemmel Multipurpose Room from 2 to 8 p.m. Friday the 11th is UAB Spirit Day. Admissions Day begins at 9 a.m. in 248 Gemmel. Minority Student Services will hold a Valentine's Day Jam on Saturday in the Gemmel Multipurpose Room at 10 p.m. On Monday, a guest recital will be held with Daryl Taylor in Hart Chapel at 7:30 p.m. And remember, tickets for next week's musical, Into the Woods, can be reserved at the information desk in Gemmel. The musical runs Wednesday night through Saturday night. Join me again next week to find out what's going on in Clarion. For Entertainment Beat, I'm Corey Pittman. and this is TV5 News.
As Valentine's Day is just around the corner, romances are heating up in many offices. But you may want to think twice before spicing up the workday. Management consultant Andrew Sherwood warns that courting love at work could end in court. He says that what one might perceive as harmless flirting may be considered sexual harassment by another. Love in the office could also lead to conflicts of interest, or even worse, the fact of seeing your ex every day.
That's TV5 News at 8. Tune in next Tuesday at 8 p.m. with Christy Herman and Carolyn Kelly. For the entire TV5 News team, I'm Cynthia Walker.
And I'm Carrie LaPoo. Have a good night.